Jeep. Ah. Hey guys! I was just thinking about a movie I saw in school about how the Civil War started. It reminded me of the immune system. You know why? Because every second of our life, germs try to enter our body. And the immune system, or the lymphatic system, tries to defend the body from those types of germs, including the coronavirus. So let me just fix this here Jeep, because it's a little broken. So what is the immune system or lymphatic system? Well, they both are two systems that work together to fight out foreign substances and germs, like the coronavirus, and they filter out excess body fluid from tissues. So the organs and glands that take part here are all types of cells, and these organs. In your mouth, your tonsils, they protect you from germs, and your saliva, and don't forget your nose and your cilia hairs, and your mucus. In your stomach, those acids burn down the germs. And the spleen, the liver, the skin, and even your own blood and your blood cells inside your blood vessels. So, just like every war, to fight with your enemy, you need to know your enemy. What's their strengths? What's their weaknesses? So first, we're going to be talking about the body invaders, the germs. Now, let's fight this war with the germs. So we have to know about it. So there are 4 types of substances that try to enter our body and take over it. Viruses, bacteria, fungi, and parasites. Those are all very dangerous for our body, and we're lucky that our immune system takes care of it. So let's talk about these nasty villains. So first, the virus. Viruses, they are tiny microscopic things that try to take over the cells of our body with a method. Here, I'll show you how. So usually a virus is roaming around on its own, being dead, but when it reaches a cell, it gives a message to that cell, and the cell reads the instructions of the virus. And something very dangerous begins to happen. The cell reads the instructions and makes the virus duplicate into more viruses to form a viral army. And soon, the viruses start getting the cells and ripping them to shreds, and they do like that for every cell in the body. There are also bacteria, tiny microscopic unicellular organisms. That means they're small and tiny. We cannot even see them with our own eye. We have to look at it through a microscope. And they have only one cell. And they multiply rapidly without stopping. And viruses and bacteria's differences are so many. People often say that they're the same in the news. Like the adenovirus has caused so many things. This bacteria has caused so many things. They often compare them, but viruses and bacteria are not anything but similar. First, we have size differences. Virus and bacteria is like ant versus elephant. Bacteria is huge, and we can only see it through a microscope. So think how small the virus would be. Really small. And there are also biological differences. So viruses have technically no life force, but the cell, their host cell, carries out their instructions and reproduces, just like I've shown you in the animation. And bacteria have a life force. So also, one more key difference is all viruses are very bad for your body, But some bacteria, a lot of bacteria actually, they help your body. Like for example, in the large intestine, the last stage of digestion, we find that there are hundreds and thousands and millions of bacteria like E. coli living there. And they digest the feces even more so that it can turn into solid poop. And one more thing, there are also different medicines to cure these nasty microorganisms. Viruses and bacteria have different medicines, and some of them can be daily hygiene. Like if you do your exercise regularly, eating nutritious food, drinking water, urinating regularly, brushing teeth, taking bath regularly, that can heal some diseases that are caused by bacteria and virus. But if it's stronger than that, you need antibiotics for bacterial disease, not viral. I'll explain you why. See, antibiotics, they destroy that life force, and bacteria have that life force. So antibiotics in bacteria, antibiotics win. But viruses, they have no life force, unlike bacteria. So antibiotics won't work on viruses, but it will work on their host cell, which is very bad. And the only thing that can cure viruses, or at least weaken them a little, is vaccines. See, vaccines, they insert a fake copy of that virus inside our body so that the cells will recognize it and kill it. So that if the real virus comes, the cells will recognize their last encounter with the fake virus and know that it's a nasty or microorganism that they have to kill. So those are some differences between virus and bacteria. And there are also fungi and parasites. And I forgot to mention the examples of viruses and bacteria. But some examples of bacteria are E. coli and bacilli and some other things. But viruses, one that's happening right now is the virus that's causing COVID-19. And it caused a pandemic, a worldwide virus spread. And an epidemic is a region virus spread, not the whole wide world, but that virus is killing so many people. So coronavirus, adenovirus, and affluenza types A, B, and C are all viruses. Now, fungi, parasites, and tapeworms, worms. No, not that kind of worm. So, see, fungi, parasites, and worms are microscopic organisms, and you often heard as fungi, they live in the dirt and they eat decomposing things. But they can also go inside your body, and they cause itchy rashes like athlete's foot. And parasites, one example is the tapeworm. It can cause serious things. Tapeworms get birthed in not that good cooked meat and other not good things. And once they go inside your body, they live in your small and large intestines or guts, and they can cause serious problems if they duplicate. So we'll need to cure those too. And those are some examples of body invaders. But fortunately, the immune system has a series of forces to defend itself from those nasty, stinky, smelly invaders as such. So, without delay, I present to you the body barriers. So, now we are talking about the body barriers, aka our immune system. So, a germ that is trying to get in. Now, I present to you the story called A Germ's Life. So, if a germ is trying to get in, it will first have to cross our very own barrier, the skin. The skin itself is a very great barrier. But what happens if it's cut? Germs can get in. Then what will the skin do? So I'll tell you the healing process of an injury. You get a scrape. Germs from the air and the dust and dirt right away come inside your body. And the blood vessels inside your skin break open. The blood then flows out to solid and form a blood clot so that no more germs can get in and it can start the healing process. Meanwhile, the germs inside are in great danger. They should have regretted this because they're going to be eaten up by large white blood cells that are in the bloodstream. And in the meanwhile, platelets start fixing our scratch. And in a couple of weeks or days, it will turn into a scab that falls off or a scar. Now, what happens if the germs escape the blood cells and escape the skin? Well, if they enter through our nose and mouth, they'll have a series of problems. First of all, the hairs in our nose trap those germs as they are covered with mucus that destroys them. And we sneeze them out. And the mouth, if they're in the mouth, the first thing they'll have to do is get across the chemicals of the saliva or spit. Then, if they're swallowed down into the stomach, they'll face a series of problems. One is that the acid burns the germs because it's strong enough to burn metal, and they are forced back up or going down as vomiting or diarrhea because the small intestine and large intestines don't absorb the water, so you'll get liquidy feces. If it tries to enter through the eye, tears stop it. So the germs have a series number of problems, but if one virus or germ is strong enough to break through those, which I think it possibly can't, they will have to face the real soldiers. Like the Civil War movie I saw in school. And now we have the second line of defense, the bloodstream. Inside the bloodstream, there are 3 types of cells: lymphocytes, macrophages, and neutrophils. Lymphocytes are the types that recognize that cell and remember it to destroy it. Neutrophils are the most common type of blood cell. They're the ones which attack. And finally, the macrophages, they are the hungry hunters. They eat and swallow and dispose of the waste of the germs alive. Here, I'll show you an animation of how they work. So first, a macrophage discovers a germ and reveals its identity and knows that it's gonna eat it. So it engulfs the germ. Then acids inside the macrophage digest the germ and rip it into shreds. And finally, just like the human body, how we do digestion, the macrophage excretes the germ waste. So, what can you do to help your immune system? Well, there is one thing. Daily hygiene, brushing your teeth, getting regular exercise, washing your hands regularly, eating nutritious food, getting medical checkups regularly. Those all help for destroying germs and establishing peace throughout the body. So, immune system is done, but what about this other system that contributes? The lymphatic system. Well, we'll get to that. So, the lymphatic system. What are its functions? This is a system that I really love because it does 2 functions. So, it filters the remaining watery liquids that your blood sends to your tissues. There is a lining of watery liquid or blood that the tissues surround. And whatever is left of that, it filters the germs out of that and the dirt out of that, and it sends it back into the bloodstream. And its other function is also to help the immune system by destroying germs. Here's how. Have you ever got a swelling throat? On the sides of your throat, there are lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are these tiny vein-shaped glands that are throughout your body. And once the fluid from your tissues goes into them, they get filtered and goes through the subclavian veins back to the heart. But in the lymph nodes, there's also white blood cells and germs. And the lymph nodes give a chance for the white blood cells to have a good meal and destroy the germs. So lymphatic system is very important to us. Now, let's summarize what we learned. To sum up, there are body invaders and body defenders of our immune system. The body invaders are viruses, parasites, fungi, worms, and bacteria. And they have a lot of differences between each other, especially virus and bacteria. And they try to conquer the human body for its own good. But the body defenders, they try to protect, and they do a very well job on it. And even if the germs cross the line through an itch, through the mouth, or through the nose, and even if they get through the first line of defense, which are the chemicals, they get eaten up by white blood cells. And one thing you can do to help it is daily hygiene. And finally, the lymphatic system filters the blood surrounding tissues, and it gives a chance for the white blood cells to also destroy germs that are in that liquid. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on Jagan's channel, Human Anatomy, Immune and Lymphatic Systems. And thank your immune system and lymphatic system for fighting that viral war inside you. Now I have to fix my Jeep. There, it's all